What's going on? You know where you're at. You're at the cheap seats, the best seats in town. Riding solo dolo today. Beer Cave had to go out and coach the little kids to another win and keep that streak rolling. But hey, what's going on, normal guy? Happy Saturday, Jesus. I figured we're going to do almost all NFL today. I'm ready to talk football, no matter what it is. I'm ready to talk football. We'll talk a little bit about the finals later towards the end of the show, get everybody's look at that, tell you how I feel game 2 will happen tomorrow, what's going to happen with that. But I'm ready to talk some damn football. Y'all know where my team is. Of course, the Browns right here. I know a couple of y'all, Saints, Nines. Listen, let's get into it a little bit. The one thing that's really got to me, and I've seen all over the place lately, is the damn quarterback rankings. Now I've been looking at it. Hey, don't be calling him fake Luka. You know damn well that boy's a dog. He's a dog. We'll get into that later. But he's a dog. But let's take a look at this. These quarterback rankings, right? But Xavier Howard's in trouble. Why do you think Xavier Howard's in trouble? He get in trouble? See, I didn't catch all that. I've been having a busy week dealing with all sorts of stuff. I got jobs changing, 2 jobs maybe happening. I've been trying to keep pace, but it's catching up to me a little bit. But dude, these quarterback rankings really got me. Big Luka is not going to quit. He's not going to quit. He should have had more assists last game, but wide open shots are being missed by his teammates. All right. Again, football. Let's do NFL. We'll do NBA later. You can tell me how Luka sucks later. Look, this quarterback rankings. I'm not going to go through every single one all the way down 32. But let's really look at this top 10. Patty Mahomes, of course. He's going to be number 1. Lamar Jackson. Number 2, and to me, that's debatable. The dude's got some wheels. He can throw the pigskin a little bit, but to be honest, again, and I've been pounding this about this dude and this MVP award since it happened. How does Justin Fields have almost identical stats to what he did, but yet he got it? Well, because he's on a better team. I understand that. Well, to me, CMC was on one of the top 2 teams, and he had amazing stats for running back, and there was no other running back close to him. So to me, it should have been CMC. If you're telling me a quarterback from an organization that's trash had almost identical stats to one that won 14 games, 13 games, and he gets the MVP, then to me, it's not the quarterback that did all that. It's all the other pieces. That's why Fields should still be in Chicago to me. They should have did something totally different with that draft, and Fields should still be there. But all right, Lamar at 2. You got Joey B at 3. Now, we all know what Joey B's capable of. MVP caliber. He's got an arm. He's great when he's put in positions. Problem is his weakness to me is when he's scrambling out this pocket, he's still trying to make a play, and it makes him get hurt. He gets hurt by doing this every single damn time. Like, throw the ball away, man. If you're not going to get the first down, throw that thing the hell in the stands. Don't sit here and try to push it because injuries happen that way, and that's why you've been injured how many times already? That's what's happened. That's where the problem is lie. So stop doing that. Throw the ball away. Throw it away, dude. Jesus says top 5 QBs are secured. Pat, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Burrow. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I got gripes with one of those. And here he is, Josh Allen at 4. This dude should not be nowhere near the top 3. Talented as all hell. Don't get me wrong. Dude is talented as hell. He's about to have nobody. He's going to have a rookie wide receiver and Keon Coleman. He's going to have 2 tight ends. You got James Cook. If James Cook can repeat what he was doing in the latter end of the season. In December is when James Cook came to life. So now, you're telling me Josh Allen is top 5, top 3 QB? I don't know, man. I can't do it. I can't put him up there. He's got you, normal guy. Well, hey, if he's got you, then we're gonna put him. He's number 1. He's over Mahomes. If he got normal guy to throw the ball to. I'm just. We're gonna get back to Josh Allen. Let's move on. Hey, Herbert at 5. Listen, hey, and you're right there. You're right there. You're right there with your top 5, Jesus. And I like Herbert. I think he has amazing arm strength. Very talented QB. If he has the playmakers, you see what he can do. You saw what Keenan Allen. You saw what all these people can do. Here's where my real problem is now they took all them away from him. Now you got J.K. Dobbins. Who knows if his knees are going to hold up? You got Gus Edwards. What's he going to give you? You got Quentin Johnson. Is he going to bounce back from that shit year he had, his rookie year? I mean, they don't. Josh Palmer, I don't know. I can't see a whole lot going on there offensively right now for the Chargers, except for they did it right. They went and got Joe Alt. They put him on that offensive line. They're going to keep Herbert upright. And that's exactly what they need to work on. Keep him upright. Let Harbaugh get his hands on this offense and twist it a little bit and do what he needs to do. And hopefully they can come out flying because the Bolts could be something big. You just got to put a couple playmakers over there. At 6 is Dak Prescott. Tony Romo. The regular season superhero. That is what he is. He's done it once in the playoffs where he showed up. Hey, Thanos, listen, if they run the ball a lot, that's great. But the problem I'm looking at with the run game with the Chargers is J.K. going to be all right? You know, J.K. Dobbins gets hurt all the damn time, and I hate that it's like that. Absolutely hate that it's like that. Because the dude has so much potential. So much potential. But, I mean, Gus, I guess, will get some run, and you saw what he could do. In that playoff game with the Ravens, the dude was averaging 6 yards a carry, and then they stopped giving him the ball. I think Dobbins could be great because I think Herbert will make the things the same easy. He'll do the same things. Lamar runs the ball. That was taken away from them guys there. That takes away, but it's also that dual threat. But I think Herbert will be just fine helping Dobbins. I think Dobbins will be perfectly fine. You see all these other running backs. It does. But how come all these other running backs look perfectly great? Jahmyr Gibbs, you know Goff ain't running the ball anywhere. Nick Chubb, there hasn't been a running quarterback on the Browns ever, and that dude does the damn thing. Derrick Henry, CMC. I get Lamar makes it easier for him. Problem is Dobbins needs to stay healthy. That's the most important thing here. Not all of those were elite offensive lines. Not every single one of them. The Browns, yes. The Browns is definitely an elite offensive line. They've revamped that Chargers. I think it's going to be way better than it has been in the last couple of years. And if they give Dobbins the run, I think it'll be great. The Lions do. They do too. What about the Dolphins? I don't think the Dolphins is crazy great offensive line, but they had 2 guys that were just monsters. You know, what is it? Alvin Kamara has no trouble. Again, that line ain't that great. It's just a matter of, can he stay healthy? To me, Dobbins can be an amazing talent, but it's so far into his career already. So far into his career already to me. On PFF, it's Dak. Jesus. On PFF, top 10, it's Dak. Hurts is not even... Hurts is at 9 for this one. And again, Dak is... to me, Dak's a regular season guy. You know, he can do everything in the regular season, and then he shows up playoff-wise, does it once, can't do it no more. Stafford's 7 on the PFF. Matt Stafford for the Rams, and I'm not crazy about that. Oh, he's older now. I know he can do the job. I definitely know he can, but I'm not going to put him at 7. To be honest, Stafford would probably be outside the top 10 for me. I'd put Stafford outside in the 10. This is the top QB for PFF. Their QB list, 1 through 32. But I'm not going to read them all. I just wanted to go through some of them. Yeah, Stafford to me is, I don't know. I'm not top 10 with that. Aaron Rodgers for the Jets. Again, we didn't get to see him last year. We know what he can be. We just didn't get to see what he was going to be last year. This year, he could definitely be something. And if he's healthy, Mike Williams is healthy. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Breece Hall. Woo! I'll give him right outside the top 10. I got no problem with giving Stafford 12, 11. I got no problem with doing that. None. None whatsoever. 9 is Hurts for Philly. And I know why they're putting him down there, and I know why they're doing this. Because you got Hurts. You got Hurts at 9 because he wasn't really throwing the ball. Hey, Zeus, if that's your own list, I mean, to be honest, I'm not hard pressed on your list. I think Stafford, Stafford to me is outside the top 10. I like Stafford outside the top 10. Hurts, again, we didn't see a lot from his arm. You saw it at the beginning of the year, and then it kind of went away, and he started running. He had, 100 yards rushing and only 100-something yards passing, and it just – you saw it might have got the job done barely, but then again, where'd it go in the playoffs? It wasn't there. It wasn't there. Their number 10, PFF's, is Stroud, and I think Stroud should be higher. We saw him do what he did with talent that wasn't what we knew. We don't know that talent. He made us know that talent. Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Schultz, we knew about Schultz, but he showed us that. I 100% agree, Thanos. It was disappointing. And the coordinators, again, it comes down to Nick Sirianni for me with the Eagles. If Sirianni does not get control of that team and do what he needs to do, gone. I think Sirianni should have been gone already. And my bet was in the offseason, if they would have fired Sirianni, I would have went and got Belichick. Because the offense is right. If he just gets the right coordinator to come in there with him and does that, and he takes over the defense, that's amazing. Belichick would have been right. Belichick would have been the right guy for that job, and the Eagles would be doing some amazing things. Oh, yeah, Sirianni's getting fired this year. I wouldn't had a problem with Saleh either, but Saleh, I think he's going to be all right with the Jets. I mean, Rodgers stays healthy. I think the Jets win that division, go into the playoffs, maybe get a playoff win. I don't think they get rid of Robert. I don't see him getting rid of him doing that. And yes, Stroud got Nico paid. He definitely got Nico paid. And, right outside the top 10 for PFFs, these 3 quarterbacks, Jordan Love. I got 100% belief in Jordan Love's talent and what he can do because we saw what he did with receivers and people we didn't even know. Like, we might have known, but we didn't know. We didn't think they were going to be what they were. And the way he played in those playoff games against Dallas, against the Niners, I mean, he made that one critical error in that Niners game, and that cost him, but he was there every step of the way. To me, Jordan Love's top 10. 100% believe Jordan Love's top 10. They got Trevor Lawrence at 12. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Sunshine at 12. Whether he's 12, 11, whatever, I'm okay with that. Right outside, I think he has some proving to do. We know he's got the talent. The problem is he's got to do something. He's got to get over a hump because Jacksonville's decline is coming. They're up here already. They're at a ceiling right now. They have everything they needed the last couple years. They just can't get over it. And now you got to fight with the Texans and CJ, and you got to fight with AR-15 if he comes back healthy and plays out with the Colts. And then the Titans, to be honest, the way they've rebuilt so far with the line, they threw a couple running backs back there, that wide receiving core. If Will Mayo steps the hell up, you're going to have to compete with the Titans too. Jared Goff fall apart in games. He almost fell apart versus Bucks. You're right. He did. That beard says you lose your money to female in 5 years. In 59, you're a simple. All right, dude. All right. Well, your name says it all. You just a rat bird, buddy. It's okay. You got your opinion, though. You're just a rat bird. It's all right, my man. They got Brock Purdy at 13. 13. People still doubt Brock Purdy. Why? Why are you doubting Brock Purdy still? The man's done it. I get it. He has talent on that team. I'm not doubting that dude. To me, he's in the top 10. Towards the bottom of it, but he's in the top 10. Come on now. This stuff gets out of hand a little bit. Like I said, I get Josh Allen having all the talent, but I'm not putting him that far up. Just not doing it. I refuse to do it. And then they got Tua at 14, which, he probably could be right outside the top 10. He's got all the talent in the world there. The problem is he gets hit one more good time, and he might not be playing anymore. But Tua, he's got all the talent to help him. Both the running backs, and then he's got Hill and Waddle. And then Kirk Cousins at 15 to round out the top 15. I think Kirk is Kirk. He is what he is. He's a high-paid bridge quarterback in reality. The dude will give you 3,500 yards to 4,000 yards passing, 20-plus touchdowns, double, maybe like 10 to 12 interceptions. But the dude does it all. He just, when the lights get real bright, he could play when the lights are on. He's not like cockroach status. Sometimes he is, but it's just he needs to get over that hump. And I think having Pitts, you got London, an offensive line, that defense is nice, and you got Bijan. I think Bijan can crack 2,000 total yards. He can do a CMC this coming up year. I think he's going to be one hell of a talent to watch. They got Raheem Morris at head coach now, someone that knows what to do with the running back, someone that knows what to do. I think he's going to be I think Bijan will be taken care of. It won't be him sitting on the sidelines while the team's playing. And that was a huge problem for Atlanta last year. Why wouldn't they use Bijan the way they needed to? They kept trying to see what Ritter had, or throwing Mariota, or throwing this guy, throwing that. Listen, man, you would have let Ritter play out there and put Bijan out there, it'd be in a different situation. Maybe you're not spending $120 million on Cousins, and you're letting this situation play out. I get Desmond Ritter is not that guy, not that top tier, but he probably could have got the job done if you allowed him to play the game and stop going back and forth between all these quarterbacks throughout the seasons. I don't know that question, Jesus. How many hours do they train? You got to think. Probably between the two sets, because I think they do a morning scrimmage and then a afternoon scrimmage. So you probably about 8 hours. Well, yeah, I'm not saying Ritter's better than Cousins, but yeah, Cousins is a way better deal to be in Atlanta. Yes, 100,000%. I believe that. But my whole thing is they just didn't use their talent last year. They didn't have to spend the 120 on him. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to get Penix. They'd have let Ritter do his thing and let Bijan play. They could have went a whole nother direction with this. Yes, Arthur Smith was a damn idiot. He was a dumbass, man. I never understood his whole thing. He should have been fired in the first like 5 games. Gone. See you later. Should have been gone. I don't know. I don't know, though. We're going to see. We're going to see how all this shakes up. We're going to definitely see. But hey, let's talk a little bit now about division rankings, where we feel the divisions rank, like teams in their divisions, and how we go about this. We might have went over this before, but again, things change all the time. All the time, stuff's changing. So we'll start with the AFC East. You know, you got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Patriots. You got these teams, and you know the Patriots are rebuilding, so we know they're probably dead last in that division. Drake May got some defense there though, but they really don't have a lot of offense. Then you got these 3 fighting. I think it's only 2 fighting for the top. I don't think I think the Bills come in third. And for lack of offense, they lost a lot on defense. I think they come in third. I think there'll be a big shakeup with the Bills come next season, coaching wise. They're gonna have to do something because if this doesn't turn into anything at all for them, and Josh Allen does everything, but see, I really think they're gonna put so much on Josh Allen, he may wind up hurting himself this year by trying to run the ball too much. He's gonna get all them rushing touchdowns. He's gonna do all that. Exactly. He will need to be a superhero. He will need to be Superman. Literally. He will have to do that with a James Cook that we've seen for 1 season do something, with the rookie wide receiver Coleman, with Kincaid and Knox at tight end. I mean, it's just, I can't put them higher than 3. And that's just me. I can't do it. I have Miami at 2, though. They lost some defense. I mean, they lost a Pro Bowl corner, that All Pro line defensive lineman Christian Wilkes. I just think their defense suffered some. Their offense is going to be high flying. They're going to be fast as shit. They're going to do their damn thing. I don't put them at 2. That's where they're going to be. 2. And I got the Jets. Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets will win that division. They got a lot of fire. I mean, Zach Wilson gave them some wins. Between all the trash quarterbacks they threw in there, Mike White and all them dudes, they got some wins. And to be honest, they could have made a little bit of a run. If Aaron Rodgers was healthy, they'd do a lot of damage last year. He's healthy this year with the addition of Mike Williams and Mike Williams being healthy. Instead of making that crazy pick, that flashy pick, Brock Bowers, they went and got the lineman they needed. That's great because now they're protecting the one piece they know. If he goes down, the whole team goes down. But if Aaron Rodgers stays upright and slinging that pigskin everywhere, that top 3 defense, him and those weapons, they will win that division. And I'm going to give him I'll give him a playoff win too. They could win a playoff win. Get a playoff win. I mean, Aaron Rodgers hasn't done that in a while, and he didn't do it a whole lot for Green Bay. He needs to do something. And I think it's coming to that point where he knows it. He doesn't do it now. When is he going to do it? When's it going to happen? And he's never had a top 3 defense. He's had some good defenses, but not top 3. Like these dudes are solidified in every position pretty much. Linebackers, secondary, the line. I mean, God, the Jets are, whoo. It's insane how good they are. You know, them, the Browns, the Niners, those are 3 defenses that are crazy insane in every level. Thanos says he agrees, but Miami and Buffalo are close. You're right. You know what? They could switch a little bit. I'm still going to give them that 3 because I got belief in Miami that they're going to win their home games. No matter what, they're going to win their home games. It get 120 degrees on that field. It affects everybody. It's insane how it affects everybody. And if we look at their schedule, you got to see how many cold teams they play late in the year because Miami can't do it in the cold. that speed tends to slow down when it's colder, so you ain't got to worry about it as much. And they have to try to do other things. But I can I can be agree with that. I mean, we'll see. And the whole thing is Josh Allen has to be healthy 100% the entire year. He can't be limping around. He can't go off the field for a game, a quarter, a half, none of that. Can't do any of that. He starts to do any of that, that's it. That's it for the Bills. That's the end of it. We'll move from the AFC East to the NFC East. Oh, dude, if Rodgers does any of that, it's over. If he 4K, 29 touchdowns, and again, that defense, dude, it's over with. And again, he could be running towards the Super Bowl. We'll see. I mean, he's got a lot of stiff competition in the AFC. A lot of stiff competition in the AFC. But let's switch to the NFC East now. This is a division where you're like, oh man, what are we going to do here? You got Philly, who looks like they should run away with everything all the time, and they should be fighting for the Super Bowl every year in the last so many years. And they don't get over that hump. They just don't do it. Then you got Dallas. Jerry Jones literally said, we got to do it with less. And he wasn't joking. They literally have to do it with less this year. Absolutely no offense, but Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, and a bunch of old running backs, and then young little guys. And their offensive line has changed. They drafted some offensive linemen, so hopefully they can step in and help that situation out. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get Jerry Jones ever. Yes, that too, the cap situation. But I'll tell you right now, with Dallas, I truly believe Jerry Jones, the way he's looking at this right now, he says, hey, I brought in Jimmy Johnson as an advisor. I let my pride take a big hit doing that. I'm not going to pay Dak next year. McCarthy's gone. I'm going to get this right and bring in everything I need. It's almost like cleaning house. He's okay if they lose, I think, this year. I think he's okay because he knows they're not going to no Super Bowl with that team. He's got to know this. I mean, he's had way better teams than this, and they haven't gone anywhere. Way better teams than this, and they didn't do anything. Maybe a playoff win. No, I think he's okay with having a shit season. Then you got the Redskins rebuilding. They added Eckler. You still got Scary Terry. You got Jahan Dotson. No, it's not a beer. Nah, it's just water. They got Jahan Dotson, Scary Terry. I think I already said Scary Terry. And then they drafted Jaden Daniels. That defense has some good pieces too. I don't drink. I don't really drink anymore. So it's like last week when if you were watching the show, I drank. I was at Beer Cave. Me and him were live together. I drank then. Every now and then I may have a drink while I'm on the show, but I really don't drink. I don't go out and drink. I don't do any of that. If I'm out with a couple people, I might have one, maybe two, but that's it. But then you got the Redskins. Like I said, I think they're more. They're gonna listen. You're gonna. This is gonna be a hot take here in a second when I give it to you. But let's just move to the Giants. Giants, trash. They got rid of Saquon. They thought adding some defense would be great. They brought in Neighbors. Wow. Who's going to be the quarterback? Daniel Jones? Danny Dimes? Drew Lock? Well, what are we doing over here? Or Tommy DeVito? What are we doing? I think that team's just destined to fail and get a top 5 pick, and they're going to draft a quarterback this time around. But how I'm looking at it again, we're going to put the Giants in the trash. They're number 4. Number 3 is going to be Dallas for me. And I know that's hot. That's hot as hell to say. Dallas is going to be number 3 to me. I really think it's tough for them when people key in on CeeDee Lamb and go to lock him down some more. They don't have any other weapons. They don't have nobody to look on the other side of the field unless they make a move mid-season. They don't have nothing. And their defense is there, but it's shaky. Parsons is great, but the problem is if you run at him, he doesn't tackle running backs. He's proven that all last year. You can't tackle a running back. It's crazy. If you go directly at him, he cannot tackle a running back. And they got to stay healthy on defense. Again, they got to stay healthy. And the rookies on that offensive line got to step way the hell up to make sure Dak ain't sitting on his ass. I like Ferguson to go off. You're right. I think Ferguson has a great year. I think he's a top 10 fantasy tight end. I think he'll have an amazing year. But I just don't think they're going to do that much. I really like them at 3. And that leaves me with the Redskins at 2. I think Jaden Daniels is an amazing talent. I'm hoping they learned from the RG3 experiment they had there, that running him like crazy. Yes, McCarthy's getting canned. End of the year, halfway through the season, whatever, he's gone. No matter what, he's gone at the end of the year. That's his contract. They're not signing him again. So, yes, I definitely believe he'll get canned. It could be whenever. But I like the Redskins at 2. I like Jaden Daniels and his talent. He can throw the ball. We've seen it. We've seen the arm talent. We've seen him throw the ball all the way down the damn field. I mean, he can chuck that thing. Yeah, ain't that crazy? Absolutely insane. Sirianni, McCarthy. Yeah, because Dan Quinn's going to keep his job because he just got it in Washington. And yeah, what is it? Is it Dable? It ain't Dable over there. God, I can't think of his name for the Giants. Is it Dable? Can't think of it. Yeah, it is Dable. All right. But yeah, Sirianni, he might keep his job. To me, it all fat Dr. Evil. It all depends on what they do in the playoffs and all that. I think the Redskins somehow take 2. They figure out a way. Jaden Daniels does an amazing job. And yes, Philly wins that division. You have all that talent. I mean, you literally extended A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So there's no money worries. Them 2 dudes are here to play ball. You brought in Saquon Barkley, signed him for 3 years. Dude's here to play ball. You got Dallas Goedert. You got that offensive line that's only missing Jason Kelce, but you had that backup that's great. So you plug him in, good. Now Hurts needs to learn to throw the ball and do what he needs to do. Needs to do it. Who can't shit the bed more? Yeah. You talking about Kellen Moore? Yeah, as the coordinator there, and I think he has the offense for that. You got talent like that everywhere. There's no reason why you shouldn't have huge numbers for Hurts. Hurts should have almost 300 yards every game. But listen, that offense was hurt. Mike Williams went down. Keenan Allen went down a little bit. Eckler was out. That offense was hurt, and they had no offensive line. I will not put that on him. That was a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries to that offense. A lot. Because I liked him going there, but then everybody started getting hurt. Like I said, Williams went down. Keenan had a great year. He was down a couple games. But then when Eckler was out pretty much, I'm like, then that offensive line was just horrible. If the injuries happen in Philly, if those start with the star quality from Philly to the Chargers is a lot better. But if those injuries do happen, as long as it ain't every damn person, I think they're going to be all right. But I mean, injuries can happen anywhere. Anywhere. I mean, that's like saying Patty Mahomes gets in. What if Patty Mahomes gets injured in KC? That's it. Chiefs are done. They're losing every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. But I do like Philly as a whole. Again, and they put pieces on their defense. They needed their defense. They drafted 2 secondary position players to help them out there because that's what they needed most. Safety and corner work. They moved Bradbury to safety to free up the corner for the rookies. I think that's going to be amazing defense. Their line has always been good. I think Philly's ready to either. Ooh, I'm not going to say be number one in the NFC, but they're going to be definitely two or three. I can't give one. The team that I like at one is going to be another shocker. You want the Commanders to win the division? Hey, look, if the Eagles have some injuries, I definitely believe the Commanders can win the division, and I'm right there with you. It's an injury bug away from the Commanders flipping the script and winning the NFC East. You're absolutely right. Listen, he just got to play. Not he doesn't have to be all the way up there with Stroud. Just be there. Again, he can do it. Daniels can definitely play that way. 100% can play that way. All right, let's do the NFC West. So you got Niners, Rams, Seattle, Cardinals. All right, start at the bottom, then the trash, the Cardinals. You know what? See, here's an yeah. Listen. I'm gonna put the Cardinals in the trash, but I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be close. They may not be the team in the trash can. Kyler Murray comes back, starts doing his thing. You got Marvin Harrison. You got a hell of a weapon with him. You got Trey McBride. You got James Conner. That defense. I mean, I don't know a lot on that defense, but they drafted well. They free agency. I don't know a whole lot of what they've done to that defense, but I think it's going to be close because their schedule makes it close. They have a winnable schedule if they can win those close games. They got to win the close ones, though. And if they do that, I have Seattle at 3. They might switch spots with Seattle. Because, again, Seattle quarterback issues for me. Seattle's definitely going to have the better offense. My thing is Geno Smith. Can we rely on Geno Smith to be what he was not this past year, the year before? Can we rely on him to get back to that? Because if not, then that team goes down the drain. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Here's a hot take right here. DK Metcalf gets traded. I think he gets traded by the deadline. Him or Tyler Lockett, but I feel like they may keep Lockett. Nah, you know what? They're probably going to trade Lockett. But they got JSN. I think they're going to trade one of those guys. JSN will stay. It'll be DK or Lockett gets traded by the deadline. I really do think. And I'm okay with that. And I would love Geno to be able to open it up and do that. And they got Little Beast back there and Zach Cabaret. That line, they's built up a little bit. The defense, they have some great secondary help. They got a little bit of the line they helped out on defense. It's all hindering on Geno now. And they got a new coach that's instilling a new system. So Geno doesn't thrive in that. What can we do here? That tells me they could be at the trash. And again, they could be looking to trade a wide receiver to get some draft compensation and get ready for next year. Because then they're going to they can do DK. You're going to get more for DK than you will Lockett. Maybe you can get some return on them. Move up in that draft, get one of those top tier quarterbacks that'll come out. But again, Seattle, Arizona could switch. You don't know how it's going to be. They could switch. And then you got the Rams. They are installing a new offense, but I feel like they're installing a new offense every year. Every damn year, I feel like something new in Arizona. So I think Kyler Murray's used to this now because all he does is play Madden and Call of Duty. So I think he's used to what he's doing here. It's always changing for him. But they've never had a playmaker quite like Harrison. I mean, they had D-Hop. But I think Harrison's way different than D-Hop is. So I'm hoping now this year they snap into it. Because, I mean, I would love the Cardinals to do well. But then I think the Rams take 2. They come in second in that. Stafford, does what Stafford does. You got Puka. Hopefully Cooper Kupp could stay healthy. Kyron Williams, we'll see if he's healthy enough, but they drafted Blake Corum. What's going on, Daniel Berry Sports? They worked on their offensive line. Their defense took a little bit of a hit. Well, not a little bit of a hit. Took a big hit with Aaron Donald retiring and deciding he was done. But they filled it up. They drafted both Florida State boys. What was it? Fisk and can't think of the other guy. The other dude I love, the edge guy. This dude's a sick monster. I mean, they drafted both those Florida State guys for the defensive line. The defense will probably step up a little bit, but I still don't think they can overcome the Niners. I think the Niners, they still got their offense intact. They worked on the line. Their defense is still top 5. Purdy is Purdy. Listen, dude. I don't care what anybody has to say about this guy. The dude has done nothing. Absolutely nothing but win. When he's playing, they win. They just win. That's what they do. When's the one time he lost the first year he got put in? He lost in the NFC title game because he got his elbow hurt. He didn't lose because he lost the game. They lost because he got hurt. And then the second year they go to the Super Bowl and he did everything he could. I think that was more on Shanahan not doing what he needed to do. I think Shanahan really cost him that game. Purdy had a solid game to me. I think Shanahan cost him that game. Hey, well, Shanahan's got a thing. They call him the QB whisperer. They do it for a reason. The guy knows how to do it. And he did it with the last pick in the draft. He's done showed this. Now, I do believe I want to see Purdy on a team without all the weapons and see what he does. Like we've seen Love, like we've seen Stroud. These dudes without all the crazy weapons, they've done it. Purdy hasn't yet. He's always had the weapons. And that's something they would have to work on. And that's, you're absolutely right, Jesus. And I'll agree with you on that. I will agree with you. But to be honest, that was their Super Bowl to lose. They changed up how they played that Super Bowl and they lost. And then key injuries, what was it, Greenlaw or Kinlaw, whichever the law was, got hurt jumping up and down on the sidelines before he came in the game, blowing his Achilles. That opened up the field for Kelce. Because he was on Kelce and shutting that down. And when that happened, that was the end of it. That other, the guy they put in there, I can't think of the backup's name, but God, he was just horrible. Straight trash. Get him the hell out of here. I mean, that was garbage. The way he tried to cover Kelce, and that dude just got loose, and that was the end of it. That was the end of it. Yep. The kicker has done that too. I've seen some crazy things happen with celebrate. Listen, stop celebrating in mid-game. Stop doing it. Dude, I'm a Browns fan, as you know. I watched a dude, and if I'm right, it was Rudd. Rudd took off his helmet with 5 seconds left against KC. We had this game won. Took his helmet off. They threw a flag. KC got an extra down. They ended up winning the ball, winning the game. Because they got an extra down because he took off that helmet. Stop celebrating for that. I want to see triple zeros. Reps are running off the field. Then you can celebrate. A lot of Niners fans were saying they blew out every team that was a overhype. Well, I mean, that's the problem. Did you see the contradictory in that statement that they said, though? We blew out every team that was an overhype. Well, if they're overhyped, that means they're not that great. That's the whole thing what overhype means. It means you really aren't that as good as you think you are. So they blew out a bunch of trash teams. Look, they played the Ravens, and the Ravens blew them the hell away. Blew them away. I mean, Cincinnati went in to Levi's and beat them up. The Browns beat them at home after they blew out whoever they blew out the week before. Would they blow Dallas out the week before, and then they came to Cleveland and got their whole ass whipped? The Niners are inconsistent in a sense, and that's why they have to tighten that up. Shanahan has to get a hold on that. and get them to be ready every week like it's their last week. So I got the Niners winning the NFC East. Let's go to the AFC or the NFC West. Let's go to the AFC West. You got the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jags. Now, this one to me was difficult. And it was difficult for the last three teams. I got the Texans winning that division. CJ Stroud, you add Diggs to Nico and Tank Dell. You got Dalton Schultz. You add Joe Mixon to that team, that veteran help. Him and Diggs will help Stroud with his sophomore year because they always say there's a sophomore slump. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that happens for Stroud. I think he's too good of a quarterback. Plus, again, you got some veteran help right there to keep your mind straight. And then they put Danielle Hunter on the defense. This dude is one of the monsters on defense. And you got Will Anderson Jr. over there. The secondary, you got Stingley. I'm telling you right now, Texans win that division. They win that division. Jesus says, I thought Niners were going to blow out the Browns because the defense will be demoralized that their offense isn't doing much. That's what a lot of people thought. Even Browns fans thought this was going to be a bloodbath. But then you saw it. The offense rallied. The defense did what it needed to do, and bam. Hey, the Texans do have a tough schedule, but I'll tell you right now, if they come out that schedule, they're going to win their division and get in the playoffs. That's all they got to do. Win that division. You think? Yes, I think the Texans will open it up. They got speed. And again, you have a veteran running back that gets 1,000 yards every year in Joe Mixon, who's a bruiser. You added everywhere on that team, man. They will open that up. And once they get a lead, it's going to be over because it's going to be hard to come back on the Texans. But that defensive line they got in that secondary, it is going to be hard. But let's start talking about the rest of that division. At the bottom, in the trash. God, you want to say the Titans, right? Texans will run the ball much better also. Adding Diggs gives them so many receiving threats. Yes. 100%. Everything you said, I've alliterated to. Yes, 100%. But let's get back to the bottom of that division, the trash of the division. You want to say the Titans. Everybody wants to say the Titans. Does anybody believe in Will Mayo Levis? I got a hell of a wide receiving core, though, now. Burks, D-Hop, Tyler Boyd signed there. You got Pollard at a running back. 1,000-yard runner, barely, but he's there. Spears, which I think is better, and I think he's going to have a breakout year. You got offensive line help now. They drafted offensive line. That defense is a good defense. It's hard. And he could be. He could be another Tannehill. But again, I haven't seen enough from him to know that yet. We saw, from him last year, but I want to see more. And I think Levis he's got the arm. He can do the job. Now we just got to see it. So I'm going to put them in the trash for that reason, just because we don't know what Levis truly is going to be yet. The possibility is Tannehill. The other possibility is a higher ceiling Kirk Cousins, where he doesn't run from it all. He goes right into it and he picks up what Kirk is flawed at. Then next, I got to say the Jags. I got to say the Jags are third. And that's probably me putting too much hurt on them. I didn't know it was today. Usually I'm on top of all the horse racing because I usually do put some money on there. I haven't been on top of it this year. I've been handling so much other things going on with my business, and everything else. So no, I do know the boy that won Kentucky lost in the Preakness, so the Triple Crown's out. But hey, I want a 50 to 1 to win. Let's get a long shot in there, 25-1. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I truly believe Levis could come out. But again, we don't know yet. I'm not gonna put him all the way out to pasture yet and say, hey, this guy's just Tannehill or Trent Dilfer or something like that. I'm not gonna do that yet to that kid. We're gonna wait. I need a whole another year. I need this next year right here to see. Because he sat there and seen. He didn't get to sit. He sat behind Tannehill here and there, and then he got put in. I want him now with a full year of it all, knows the speed of the game, knows what these defenses are like, has a better offense than he did last year. I want to see what he does this year, and then I will dictate how I feel about Levis. But again, the Jags, to me it is, but it wasn't with what he has now. That's what I'm saying. This is it. If he can't do it with what he has now, it's a change of scenery is what he's going to need. He's going to need a different coach. And to be honest, his coach now is heavy offensive guy, and he will let him open it up. Callahan will let this dude open this game up. He was the offensive coordinator for Cincy. Open that game up, dude. He's going to try to get him to be he's not Joey B, but he's going to give him the way to be that, to open it up and throw that ball down the field. So we're going to see what he can do. I think the Jags are 3, though. I like Sunshine. I know he's got the talent. I like Etienne. I love Ingram at tight end. You got Christian Kirk. Ridley's gone. They brought Brian Thomas Jr. in. I don't know, man. Something about the Jags just doesn't ever sit right with me anymore. I feel like they've gone all the way up, and it's just now it's time. Hey, I agree, Jesus. I'm not a big fan of Pollard. I like Spears better. The guy that he's going to be in front of. I think Spears ends up taking the job from him. I think Spears has a hell of a year. But the Jags, I don't know. Something makes me feel, like I said, they're up here. I feel like they're already starting to come down. They're on the downward spiral right now. Like it's starting to hit. If they can't get something or get over the hump this year, at least get in the playoffs and start doing some noise, this division is getting nothing but tougher. Especially if Will Levis steps up this year and we see him do some things. The Jags could wind up in the bottom of this division, and you got the top 3 pretty much solidified. Then it's almost time to start moving pieces for the Jags. Yeah, and this is going to be the test for both of them. 100% for both of them. They say the Titans' offensive line was the worst last year. They brought in the best offensive line coach in the league in Bill Callahan, his dad. And I think that's going to make a world of change for them over there. Number 2, I got the Colts. I know AR-15 is that we've seen spurts. We've seen a little bit, then he got hurt. I like that offense. You got Downs, Michael Pittman, JT, Ali Cox, their defense. And even if AR-15 goes down, I like Flacco to be able to come in and do. You don't have to do crazy numbers. Just do the job. He's got the playmakers. You got the offensive line to protect you. Just do the job. I mean, you saw Mustache Mania do it last year. Saw it do last year. He should have been in the playoffs. The Colts should have been in the playoffs. But again, I think the Colts are going to be number 2. I think AR-15, he does the job. I don't think he's going to be what everybody trying to chain him up to be, like a next Lamar or something. I don't think all that's happening. But I like him. I truly do like him. Again, it's the pieces around him that I like even better, though. Downs and Pittman and Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line. I like those pieces, and I like that defense. But again, the Texans, we talked about them already. They win the division. That's how this works. You know, nothing more to it. Hey, but while we're sitting here talking, listen, I love viewers. You guys are all sitting here watching my show. You're watching this show. You watch these podcasts all the time. Why do you do that? It's because you're sick and tired of the ESPN guys. You're sick and tired of you wanting to say something and can't say something, but you come on here, you debate with us. Your voice gets heard. What you got to say gets heard. That's why you guys need to download the Huddle Sports app. Download the Northeast Streaming Sports app. Hit that on Roku. Hit that on the Fire TV. That's 24/7 sports. Then you can go on there and look at other shows and watch them, or go back and watch old shows. But it's 24/7 live all the time. Stuff's always running. You can get different aspects from different fan bases, from different teams, all sorts of stuff on all sorts of sports. I mean, it's time to download those apps. Get rid of this shit. ESPN has become nothing but trash. I can't stand listening to those fools. I can't stand Stephen A. and all of them. I can't stand how they tear apart each other. And if one doesn't like what the other says, you don't see that other person anymore, even though he was the one with the right. He was right. You don't see it no more. Time to get rid of that. Download the Huddle Sports app and download Northeast Streaming Sports app because it's better, more entertaining. Again, you get to interact instead of just yelling at the wall, looking like an insane person. You get to come right on here, type what you got to say. And sometimes, hey, we might throw you guys a link and let you guys come on and voice your opinion live with us. You know I'm doing that soon. We're going to have a forum where, hey, I'm going to send out the link to certain fans. I'm going to let them come on. They could have their run of the show, talk. We could talk about anything and everything. But all right, let's get back to it. Let's do the South. Or no, hold on. I accidentally did that. I accidentally did the AFC South instead of the AFC West. So we're going to do the AFC West now. Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. This one, you look at, the Chiefs. All right, we're going to put them at 1 for now, even though they have no wide receivers still. Rashee Rice got his ass in some stupid trouble, continued to get in trouble, dumb as hell. You got Xavier Worthy. He looks like a damn stick figure walking out there, going fast as shit, don't get me wrong. And they got Pacheco and, of course, Kelsey, and that defense is top 5. Even though they lost one of their best corners, we're going to see what they do, but we're going to put them at 1 no matter what already. Now on the trash, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put Denver, even though I like Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is the best quarterback. He's going to have the best career, maybe not career, but he's going to be the better quarterback out of everybody that came out of this draft this year. I'm not high on everybody else, even though everybody else probably got better teams. I mean, you see JJ and Caleb Williams having troubles in camp, and they have the stars. They have the talent. And then you hear about Bo Nix, and he's just looking amazing. I've seen it. I've watched some of the tape on him. He looks real good with Cortland out there, real good with Mims. They look good. He looks good. But I'm still going to put him out there until we really see what that is on the field. We really got to see what that is together because they still got work to do defensively and still got to add some offense. But they did some stuff in the draft. We're going to see how it all pans out. Third, I got to put the Chargers. I'm going to put the Chargers third. I like Herbert. Again, we talked about them earlier. What offensive pieces do they really have? You got Quentin Johnson, you Palmer, you got Dobbins, Edwards. They added to the line. I think they still got to do some things there. Harbaugh could probably win with a lot. If those running backs are primed and ready, they do win some games. That defense is still good. They made sure they kept that intact and they added to it. So I still think they're third, though, because the Raiders have every single thing they need except for the QB. And I'm not even going to shame on their QB because Gardner Minshew did all he did with the Colts and that team. And now the offense you're about to have for the Raiders, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer at tight end. And then you got Zaire White at running back, plus that offensive line. Woo! Hey, listen, if the Jags would have gave Minshew a little bit longer, he probably would have still been their guy. They didn't have the team with him. I don't think he's better than, Sunshine. I think Sunshine is good, but I think Sunshine needs that. He's going to need that change of scenery too. He's got the stats. It's just the team. I don't know. There's something about it down there. He needs to change scenery. Yeah, you're right. And that's why I don't think they're going to do anything. What's up, Bobby G? But I like the Raiders coming second in that division. I think Minshew can get the job done. The defense, they stepped it up big time, putting Christian Wilkes next to old backwoods smoker Max Crosby. They got great secondary. I think they're gonna surprise some people, even if it's Aiden O'Connell. I'm okay with Aiden O'Connell too. You got that many weapons. I mean, and Aiden went through the rigors of it all already last year. He went through the ups and downs already. So he knows what it is. And I love Antonio Pierce. And I love how he's listening to his legendary, I can't say legendary, his old heads he's got around him. He's not just shunning them like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I mean, he's listening. Marvin Lewis came out and said, hey, man, this dude is going to be great. And he doesn't shun you away. He knows he can do certain things, but he also knows where he needs to go listen to somebody, and he listens. I think Antonio Pierce is going to be a great coach for some years to come, and he's going to show it. Whether it's right here with the black and silver, or if he changes up and gets a better job somewhere else, I think Antonio Pierce is going to be a great coach. And then, like I said, we went to the Chiefs. It's Mahomes, man. Mahomes and Kelsey, Andy Reid. You still got most of that defense together. There's no reason why they shouldn't do the damn thing whatsoever. I don't have a lot of faith in their wide receiving core because Rashee Rice is going to be locked up or somewhere. Xavier Worthy, like I just said, he's a stick figure that can run fast. If he gets hit real messed up one time, just boom. Dude, if Ed Reed or Palomalo were playing in this league, we had guys like that, and they can hit like that right now, that dude might get folded the hell up. Done. He'll be out for some games, broken ribs type stuff. So I don't know how much I can really believe in all that with Worthy yet. I've seen some stuff at Texas. It's just NFL's a much faster game. He's fast, but the NFL's fast too. That defensive players are fast. They're running fours with you. Now let's go ahead and switch over to NFC North. Now this is the second best division in football. I mean, you just got talent all throughout this division. When always in doubt the Chiefs and their wide receivers, and it never matters. You're right, it doesn't. It's got to stop soon enough, though. Soon enough, it will change, and it will matter because the AFC teams are bulking up. The AFC teams are getting better. This ain't an AFC that you got to be like, all right, we only got like 2 teams to worry about. Dude, there's a whole division that could have all 4 teams in it. I mean, one whole division, and we'll get to them next. And I think they're the best division in football. Their whole division could be in the playoffs. That shit's unheard of. It doesn't happen. 3 of them were in it last year. But talking NFC, you got the Lions, you got the Bears, you got the Packers, you got the Vikings. Now we're going to talk about the trash, the bottom of it. I'm going to put the Vikings there. Just because I definitely don't believe in Sam Darnold, even though he's got every single bit of weapon you would want. All of it. Jay Jett, they got that money taken care of. That's not a problem no more. Contract's done and over with. You got Jordan Addison, not top tier, but hell of a talent. TJ Hawkinson, I'm going to put him in top 6 tight ends probably. Aaron Jones, great veteran presence to have behind you. And you got an offensive line that was, I think they were top 10 last year. And you got a solid defense. Problem is just don't believe in Sam Darnold. Just don't do it. I just can't do it. And JJ's looking like straight shit. He's getting beat out by who's over there right now? Who's the other guy? Mannion? I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. I think the Vikings are at the bottom of it. Unless JJ, shapes up and starts showing some other stuff, or Sam decides to have a career year, Vikings are in the trash. Nick Mullins, there it is, not Mannion. I was thinking Oregon State the whole time. But yeah, they're in the trash. I think the Bears are third. Hall, that's another one they got there. All right. See, JJ's got to get through all this. And he hasn't even shown he can get through any of it right now. But now I got the Bears third. You got Caleb Williams. He's not looking good at OTAs. He's not looking good at practice. But they have all the talent on offense. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, which is he's a good quality tight end. DeAndre Swift. You add it to your offensive line. Your defense is great. You got a great defense. Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, a couple other pieces. If Caleb Williams mentally can be okay after getting his ass kicked or after throwing 3 interceptions, then it may change, but that's where my problems always lie with Caleb. Mentally, he's not there. After he threw 3 interceptions against Notre Dame, the next game he would look trash. I mean, he takes a hard loss. He's in his feels, his emotions. It beats him down. It's a problem. Got to shake that shit off because, football is quick. You're going right practice and you're right in there trying to beat out the next opponent. It's not sitting there, oh, we got time. No, you don't got time, buddy. You got to get over it. And Caleb's got to learn that. And if he doesn't, then there's going to be a problem. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't, because I want to see Caleb succeed, because I want to see Chicago succeed. And I only want to see Chicago succeed because the Bears are one of those teams you're just like, damn, they've been through it. They might have got the Super Bowl win in 85 and had a couple good teams here and there, been in the Super Bowl. The problem is they're always that team that's in the bottom. You're like, man. But I like seeing the Bears win. Soldier Field's something nostalgic. It's some crazy stuff, even though they're getting a new $5 billion stadium or whatever the hell. But we're going to see what Caleb has to do. I don't believe in it. I don't think they should have picked him. I think should have kept Justin Fields. They should have traded down. They should have grabbed Marvin Harrison. And then they should have grabbed their offensive tackle. Or if you wanted to add to your defense, you could have grabbed Dallas Turner and put him there. But then you would have added extra picks for years to come. Without what you had, without all these weapons you have now. No, I didn't want the Falcons to keep Ridder. I just felt like if they used Bijan more, they could have let Ridder start settling in. I don't think Ridder's crazy talented at all by any means. But I think Fields, hey, right now, if you look it up, and I've looked it up, I've got the stat comparisons and everything. Fields was identical to what Lamar was last year. Every single stat. Rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, passing yards, completion percentages, QBR, all that. He can't throw the ball. He had the same stats as Lamar, and he won the MVP. I get that. Neither one of them two could really throw the ball. Problem is, if you got a quarterback that getting comparable stats to an MVP, I'm not trading the dude away. I'm not doing that. He doesn't win those games. It's the team that won the games. Lamar, to me, doesn't win all those games by himself. It's defense and other players around him that did that. If Fields had any type of talent on his team, who did he have? He had a great year with DJ Moore. Finally, he had somebody he could throw the ball with. If you would have kept him and had him with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Even if you drafted Brock Bowers instead of whoever, and you put Brock Bowers there, then that, yeah, they get credited that by analysts. I'm not going to credit, I don't credit them that shit. If you have the same stats as a dude that is on a bum ass team, then to me, you're not the MVP. You're just not it, dude. You're not it. Because you didn't win those games. That team, a total team, won those games. I've heard some stories about Fields being toxic. But again, wouldn't you be toxic too if they kept going around and saying, hey, we're not adding talent. You kept giving him nothing. You gave him nothing. I think CMC should have won. You had over 2,000 plus all-purpose yards. You're the reason that team was that team. I think CMC was a big reason why the Niners are the Niners. To me, CMC should have won the MVP. They don't give it to running backs, though. They don't do that. But that's who it should have been. If Stroud didn't get hurt late in December like he did and not play, Stroud could have won it but they're not going to give it to a rookie either. But I want a CMC to win it. I think it was time to let a running back get it again, and that right there was it. I mean, hopefully one of these running backs can crack 2,000 rushing yards again, and maybe they'll give it to them. But it's been how long since the running backs had that award? How long? I mean, how long has it been since anybody else besides a damn quarterback? Yeah. I don't know. I just like CMC a lot better. I swear to God. Listen, I might still have the picture. If I still have the picture, I'll show you it right now. Because, dude, I was so hard pressed on this. It pissed me off. I might even have it on here. Here it is right here. Look, right here. I don't even know if... Dude, and let me see if I can load this up. I might have it somewhere. I'm going to look. I had it on here on one of these. I'm going to have to look. I might have got rid of it, though. Let me look, scroll through some stuff. I don't think it was on this one. I got it on my phone, though. No, it's not on that one. Is it on this one? No. Damn. All right. So I'm going to have to try to add it with my phone. Let me see if I can do this real quick so y'all could see it, because it's insane to me and people don't believe it. Like, it's right there. Like, it's not. Where the hell is my shit? Here it is. Let's see here. Enter studio. Here, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna get this on. But NFC North, like I said, Bears third, and when it comes to 1 and 2, to me it's tight. It is very close to me, and I'm gonna be that person where people may look at me like I'm not crazy. Not crazy, but yes. Hold on. Let me see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Right here. Here we go. Let's see, where is it at? 2012 Peterson. Was he the last running back? I knew it was Peterson. I just didn't know what year. Didn't Fields miss a bunch of games last year? Hey, and if he did, that's the whole problem. Yeah, the echo came because I had to add myself from my phone on here. But here, right here. I don't know if you can see it. You have to blow it up. But dude, right there. Look, dropbacks, same completion percentage, literally percents, 66 to 62 yards per attempt, 7.8 to 6.8 TD to interception. That is the only stat right there. The interceptions, the only stat. See, this doesn't have the passing yards, but they're the same. They're close in that too by whatever. Same number of touchdowns. He has 6 more interceptions. He has 300 more rushing yards and 3 more rushing touchdowns. 3 more rushing touchdowns. That is last year. Oh, that's the last 20 games. Still 20 games. All right, 20 games. I'll have to find the other one. I have the other one too. I'll have to do that. But listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm not impressed. To me, I'm not getting rid of Fields though. Just not doing it when I didn't give him anything. You're right. I have another one though, where dude, his stats are up there. His stats are all up there. Tell me how they get rid of a guy like that. But let's do the top 2 in that. You're right. They're not really comparable. My comparison, the whole thing that I was trying to state is the Bears didn't have to get rid of Fields. They could have drafted other pieces and built up that team more. And then if Fields didn't pan out, they would have still had 2 first-round picks the following year to go get their guy. That's where I was at with this. That's really where I was at with this. You never gave Fields the opportunity. Never gave him the opportunity with weapons. They never had no good weapons. They might have had like one, and then that was it. They had nothing. Yes, and that's the problem. They could have kept Fields, traded down, drafted Marvin Harrison, and then drafted an offensive lineman, or again, drafted Brock Bowers and solidified that entire offense. Yeah, you're scared to throw when you're running all the damn time. I'd be scared too. So, all right, move down, get Joe Alt, and draft another offensive lineman, or draft Rome down there at 9. And again, if Fields doesn't work out, then the following year, what you do, you got two picks. Patriots and Arizona are still going to be in the top 10 with their picks. They're most likely going to be in the top 10. The Bears, depending on how the situation worked out, they're going to be in the top 10, top 15. You could have packaged those 2 together and moved all the way up to the top and got yourself the quarterback you needed and still had the weapons, still had an offensive line built and a defense. I don't think there's a Caleb this year. You guys think Caleb's this great thing. I wouldn't have drafted Caleb first. To me, Caleb's not the guy that would draft first. We've seen this happen before. Dude has so much talent in college, look amazing, and he bust out. I root for a team that does it every year. Every year. You can say yes, Fields. You can say yes, Trubisky. What about Ryan Leaf? Great talent. Trash. Yeah, you don't like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. You could say all these dudes. Trey Lance did all he did. I mean, Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold. You got all this. This happens every year, so you can't say who knows what's going to be up there. But what I'm saying is they could have solidified their entire team by keeping Fields and trading down and gaining picks for years to come in the first round, and did like a Rams-Redskins move thing where they got like multiple first-round picks. So they had this year's and 2 more. And they could have had their team solidified through the draft for the next 3 years, built a powerhouse, and got themselves a QB. They could have got a bridge QB, I mean, look what the Steelers did. They got 2 quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Russ Wilson. $5 million is what they're paying them this year. Both together, $5 million. They could have did that. Shit. If I'm the Bears, I'll pay Kirk Cousins the $100 million. He could have been there with that damn team. That's what I'm saying is they could have did so much other shit than draft Williams first. That's all I'm at. I wouldn't even draft a quarterback because you had a quarterback that can do. He doesn't have to be crazy talented. If you have the weapons around him, you've seen Trent Dilfer. Yeah, and look at Stroud. Stroud walked right in and did it. I was not shitting on a pre-draft. I knew he was the best quarterback in the damn draft. I knew Stroud was better than Bryce Young ever could be and will be. To me, Stroud will be the best quarterback for years to come. Him and Jay Love are going to do the damn thing. Exactly. And they saw it all. Everyone said that Love sitting and doing that. The Packers drafting Love was trash. Look what he's doing now. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not a big fan of Williams just because of his mental. All the talent and ability in the world, don't get me wrong. Talented as hell. It's a mental thing for me with Williams. It's just mental. Again, I want to see him get past throwing 3 interceptions or getting his whole ass kicked, getting sacked 5 times, or getting hit, that one good hit. Someone eats him alive and see how he reacts. Is he going to turn into that? Like, have you seen the movie Draft Day? What was it? Chad Boswick? I don't know if that's his name or how to say it, but his character said, he goes, watch that quarterback after I sack him. What does he do? And the quarterback looked like shit, throwing the ball away, can't get, his mind's not right. That's what determines a great quarterback. Someone that can get smoked, get back up, and get right back to it. I don't know if Williams can do that. That's my thing. Now, I'm all right with them drafting Love, though. This is what they do. And Fields certainly can't because he's getting hit every play. He was getting hit every play, and he didn't have nobody to throw the ball to. When you got more rushing yards than you do passing yards, that's an issue, and that's not an issue on him. It's an issue on them. He didn't have no weapons. I will defend. I don't think Fields is some great top-tier quarterback, but I will not ever say that, he had every chance to do. No, he had no chance at all, ever. If they would have gave him this team and he went out there and shit the bed, there you go. He had his chance. To me, that's what it is. But all right, let's get to the top 2 in the North because we still got another division. Packers and Lions. See what the Lions can do. Best offensive line in football. Top 2,000-yard rushers. Amon Ra. Sam Laporta. Jared Goff. Can he continue to be that? Their defense is solid. Then you got the Packers. Jordan Love. They added to that offensive line. They added to that secondary with Xavier McKinney. They drafted well. They got Josh Jacobs. Those wide receivers we know can ball because we've watched them ball. What's going to happen there? They got the tight end, Luke Musgrave. I'm going to tell you right now, I think it goes, and Thanos, I agree. I think the Packers come in 1 and Detroit's 2, and I'm telling you the line is thin. It is literally the line between your fingers on how they win that. It is going to be close in that division with them. But I like Green Bay to win it too. Yep, it definitely can. And I really, truly believe it's going to be whoever wins that division wins the top seed in the NFC. I think that's who has the top seed in the NFC. And then Philly follows. Philly and the Niners, they follow. We got to do the NFC South. I mean, there's not really much to talk about there. You got the Falcons, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and the Panthers. Panthers are in the trash. Bryce Young, think he's trash. They gave him weapons. They got him some stuff. We're going to see what he can do this year. We're going to figure it all out now. Now you're going to figure it out. But you're going to see it this year. If you can't, it's time. Bryce Young, bye-bye. Someone new. Just like the Steelers did with Kenny Pickett. It'll be the same way with Bryce. I mean, you saw Frank Wright didn't even want Bryce. He wanted CJ. Ownership overruled him. Look how stupid they look now. Dumb as hell now. I think the Saints come in third. I'm not a big believer in Derek Carr. I think he's way past his prime. He's on his downhill. I think that's done. They should have somehow kept Jameis Winston and let Jameis play. Because I love Olave. I love Kamara. I love the tight end. I love the other guy, the other receiver they got. I think their defense is a solid defense too. I don't know. I like them at 3. I think Bryce, listen, they did upgrade. And this is why I said Bryce has got to have it this year. If not, it's a Kenny Pickett thing. Bye-bye. It's time to go. But they definitely upgraded, so we're going to see what they can do. You got Thielen, Deontay Johnson. You brought in Xavier Leggett. Running back. They got, what's his name? The Forgotten Sanders. So you're going to see. You're going to see what they can do. See, I'm right there behind you. 100% behind you because I did not want to see CJ in Carolina. I did not want to see that. I was happy he went to the Texans. I was happy he did too. But, again, I think Saints are third. I think the Falcons win the division. I think Kirk Cousins is enough to get them over that hump. I think he's slinging the ball around with London and Pitts. I think Pitts, everybody says he's one of those fantasy fails. Like, you don't ever want to get him. I think he has a great year. So I think Cousins loves his tight ends. And, again, Bijan Robinson is going to be huge. Huge this coming up year. They got the defense. That's, again, just a solid defense. I think they do it enough. The Bucs, my thing is Baker. Can he do it 2 years in a row? Can he do it 2 years in a row? I love Evans. Godwin's there. Rachaad White running the ball. That defense is solid too, but it hangs on Baker. Can he do it 2 years in a row? But I like Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. The Dirty Birds, the ATL, I love them to win that division. I truly do. So let's go to the last division. And I think it's the best division in football. It's not that I'm biased about it. It's just proof is in the pudding with this one. You've seen it last year. They got 3 teams in. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore obviously getting in. Then you add the Browns, 11-6, used 4 quarterbacks all year long, lost their 2 starting tackles, lost your star running back. I mean, and the Browns got in. Then you had Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett. You had Duck. You had all of these dudes for Pittsburgh too. They got in. And they didn't have very many weapons either. Najee Harris quietly getting 1,000. I mean, and now you got the Bengals. Joe Burrow went down. They were right there. They were right there fighting to get in too still at the end. With 3 games left, they were still fighting. Do you think hold on. Jesus says Baker, Goff, Russell, Carr, Dak, Kirk fall in the same group. You think all those dudes are in the same group? I think Goff has risen above that right now. I think Goff has risen above it. And Russell, I think, sinking to that. I'm there with you on that. Even though, again, last year he had 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He still had a solid year. He had a solid year last year. People sit there and rag on Russell Wilson. Dude had a solid-ass year. They yanked his ass. Denver could have made the playoffs if they let Russell continue to play and do his thing. They could have still made the playoffs. They actually had a chance if the Chiefs lost, well, was it one of the games and Denver won out or some shit? They could have won the division. Them or the Raiders. Listen, Russell had a good-ass year last year. Solid year. Not going to say good-ass year, solid year. Dak just can't win in the postseason. He'll throw 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, but he can't win in the postseason. And Kirk's just that high-class, high-ceiling bridge quarterback. That's what he is. He'll get the job done, just not going to do it for a long time. You wouldn't take any of those guys. Well, yeah, Russell's definitely trending downward. I think he went to a good team, though. Me and Bobby G, my boy, he's still on here. We talked about it. Tomlin, I think, is going to help him out a lot. The pressure with Fields and him helping Fields, I think that was a great place for Fields to go, too, with them two guys. Man, you wouldn't have none of those guys. I think Goff has changed. He's definitely risen above that. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens this year. If Goff can repeat and do all that, we're going to see. But all right. AFC North. I named off the teams. I don't know how to do this because it's so damn difficult picking this. And my thing hangs with quarterbacks here. Cincinnati hangs. If Joey B gets hurt again, becomes injured prone, time to move on, that team, the whole thing goes to the trash then in a sense. Cleveland. Problem is they did it without Watson when he went down. So I think Jameis Winston can step up and do it for him. He's going to throw. He's one of few quarterbacks that threw for over 5,000 yards before. I think Winston can give you 3,500. Say Bobby G. Goff is actually making McVay look a little overrated. I mean, Goff did it there too. And then they got rid of him and brought in Stafford. And now Goff is doing it with another team. A team that hasn't won in how long? And now they're a winning team. Carr did have there you go. Carr, look at his stats. How many 8 passing yards? How many TDs, though? He had 8 picks. See, I can't put the Browns at the bottom. Top 3 defense. Their offense all around is good. Nick Chubb's trending to be back in the first couple weeks. If Watson steps up, and he doesn't even have to be Watson of old, just be 80% of Watson. Be 80% of that Watson, and the Browns are set. It's hard for me to pick this division. I said if he becomes 80% of that. Not saying he is, saying if he becomes that. But again, I'm okay if Winston steps in. James is going to throw a lot of interceptions, but the problem is our defense can handle that. He's also going to throw a lot of touchdowns. To me, he's a solid backup. It's like we used all those backups to get to the playoffs last year. P.J. Walker won games that no one would have thought he would have won. But he won them. If doesn't really mean anything, you're right. So then why ain't the Bengals the bottom? Because now you got to say if Joe B stays healthy. Because he hasn't. If Russell Wilson pans out for the Steelers. What if he doesn't? You're right, Burrow has. But Burrow is being hurt. Watson's downfall is because he sat and didn't play for so long. Burrow has injuries that can re-aggravate like that. That's the difference to me. That's why I think Watson can be fine. It's just a matter of mentally getting himself back there. Burrow, he gets hit in that knee or in those legs, that changes everything. That's my only thing. That's the difference. It's a mental to physical thing there. I know Joey B's done it, and he can do it. Now it's just a matter of going on the field and staying on the damn field. And that sucks if that's what it was, and that's even worse. That's a problem. My thing with the Bengals is they got money issues right now. You got Higgins not signing the franchise tag, wanting a contract. Chase is wanting a contract. Neither one of them showed up to 8 OTAs, which is, whatever. He forced his way out of Houston because of what they did. You guys don't know the story? They wouldn't even look at them signing what's his name, Bobby? Eric, God, why can't I think of his name? The offensive coordinator from the Chiefs and went to the Redskins. That's who he wanted them to look at. They wouldn't even look at who he was talking about. That's why he wanted out. They were disregarding everything he said. There was beef between the organization and him because of he had no influence on things, and he got mad about that. That was his problem. That was really his issue down there. Bieniemy. He wanted them to look at Bieniemy. They didn't even bring Bieniemy in. He wanted them to look at him, and he liked his style and everything and thought that'd be a good fit, and they wouldn't even acknowledge him. The beef started between the team and him. It wasn't just about him forcing his way out. There was real reason why he wanted out of there. Granted, us giving him a guaranteed contract the way we did was stupid as shit. Stupid as shit. The trade has not worked in our favor one bit, and I'll give you that. Not one damn bit has it worked in our favor. But Watson has this last year right here. This is the year that it ends. If he doesn't show out, stay healthy, do his, again, he doesn't have to be some crazy 2020 Watson. If he doesn't do it, I'm okay with Jameis Winston coming in and doing the damn thing. I'm 100% okay with that. I mean, they got Huntley too. Huntley stepped in for Lamar, went in the playoffs, went to the Pro Bowl. I'm okay with that because we have the pieces. And he might be. Flacco's on the Colts. And I didn't want him back because I didn't want every time Watson do something, a pick, or they lose a game, they're chanting. I don't want these idiotic fans over here chanting for Flacco. You got to let Watson finish this out. If he's not hurt, let him play unless he's throwing 3 interception or multiple interception games in a row. But again, with an offensive line like we got, with the weapons we have, with Chubb and that defense, I'm okay with Winston. I'm okay with Huntley. Because we saw, again, an XFL quarterback took down teams that good NFL quarterbacks couldn't take down. I'm okay. Hey, Zeus, I'm just saying, dude. I'm okay with them guys stepping in, especially with the team that they have around them. So let's start. I'm that guy. I don't think the Steelers. I'm not like Bobby. Bobby believes Steelers big time contenders. All this. I can't do it. I can't do it. But I'm going to put the Bengals actually at the bottom. I think the money problems and the talks they're having. I think that's going to hinder play on the field. The Higgins situation, Chase situation. I think it's going to hinder the play. Their defense is kind of beat up. They got some holes. I mean, my other co-host on Tuesdays, Jay, he's a Bengals fan. He said the Bengals go 9-8. I mean, and that's coming from a true Bengals fan. 9-8. When we went through the schedules, he said 9-8. I think the Steelers come in third. I don't know how Russell's going to be or what's going to happen there. They got Pickens. They don't really got nobody else. Najee Harris, does he step up even more than just a silent 1,000? Yeah, Steelers are. You're right. But the thing is I don't know if they got the talent, though. They don't have the wide receivers like they normally do. They don't have that solidified good running back like they normally do when they got shit quarterbacks. They don't have that. They don't have it. Usually with the shit quarterback, they have wide receivers. They had Deontay Johnson last year with George Pickens and Freiermuth. Now you don't have Deontay Johnson, you have Pickens and Freiermuth. That's it. So you lost. Your talent went down. Now they added rookies. It's going to be rookies running on the offensive line. So you got to hope they can step up big time and quick. I mean, we're going to see. I got them third, though. I got the Browns second. I just think with the way our team is positioned, our defense being top 3, offensive line being in the top 3. Again, Chubb looks like he's training to come back week 1. Even if he doesn't come back week 1, week 2, I think he's going to have a hell of a difference. Can't stop Chubb. Last time he got injured like this is next year, he blew shit out, dude. He ran like crazy. Again, it is. And this is why I said every team in this division could wind up in the playoffs. It's never happened before because we never had it be able to happen, really, except for the last couple years. But every team in this division can wind up in the playoffs. Every single one of them. I think the Ravens could possibly not win the division. It could be, who knows, man? Who knows? I'm just going to put the whole division in the playoffs. That's the end of it. AFC North's all in the playoffs. I don't even care who wins it. They're all in it. No, I did want to say Cleveland because I don't think, again, I cannot say Cleveland. And it's because of Watson. I can't say it. That's why I can't say Cleveland be number 1. I'll put them at 2, but I will never put them at 1. But do I think Pittsburgh, if Russell has a great year and that line holds up for him and Najee sparks up, do I think they could win the division? Yes. If Joey B doesn't get hurt and they handle the contract talks with Higgins and get that shit dealt with and get him to sign his franchise tag and all that's behind him, do I think they can win the division? Yes. Do you think we will ever see that all teams are good in the NFL? All teams, like all 32 teams? You know what? To be honest, I think we're close right now. Really look at it right now. You got the AFC East. You got 3 teams in the East that are solid teams. The Patriots are rebuilding. You got the AFC South. Yes, he'll be in the NFL. There's too many women that are backing him and too many NFL players that back him that'll do it. There's no way he's not in the NFL. Well, Higgins has got to sign the franchise tag. He hasn't signed it yet. He may hold out. We don't know what's happening there. That's why I say with the Bengals, that's the problem. I mean, you look at the AFC North, they're all good. The AFC South, it's wishy-washy there, but you at least got 2 out of the 4. I don't know if you get all 32. No, difference. And I said that same thing, another Le'Veon Bell problem. Thing is Le'Veon Bell's in every down. He was a back. And I hope he does sign. I hope Higgins does sign. And I hope Cincinnati trades him before the trade deadline. Because they'd be smart to do that. They'd be 100% smart to do that. Just trade him. The Texans, instead of Diggs, you would want Higgins. I wanted Atlanta to go get Higgins. When Kirk Cousins went to ATL, I wanted ATL to go get Higgins. Make a move for him, because then you got Higgins, you got London, Pitts, and Bijan. Whew. Kirk Cousins have a nice little roster down there to play with. Yes. Dude, even if he went over to like Green Bay with them rookie guys over there, ooh. That'd have been nice. But yeah, I would have loved Higgins in the ATL. And again, he should have when they were drafting. You're right. He should have. He 100% should have. And they could have. They definitely could have had another Super Bowl. Shit. How about Higgins goes to Detroit? Because who do they got over there? They got Jameson Williams, who I think is going to have a breakout year and step up and take that 2 position. But, I mean, he could have been over there, too. Bengals could have made a move and took Jameson Williams off their hands, traded him Wiggins. At least you got Williams for another couple years. The whole money issue is done because you're paying Williams less. Williams is a talent. You saw You saw how he started picking it up last year. Higgins over there on the other side of Mon Ra. Woo. Yes, I'm telling you. And then they drafted the dude from Bama. What, Burton? Or was it Burton or Barton is his name? That boy's a quick boy from Bama too. Again, there's so many options. And I told my dude Jay this. I said, they're trading Mixon. They're trading Mixon as soon as the season's over. And he's like, no, they're not. I said, yes, they are. And they did. And I go, I bet they trade Higgins at trade deadline. He goes, you know what? I'm right there with you. He goes, if things are going a certain way, he goes, trade him. He goes, and even if it's the right offer, do it. I'm all for trading Higgins for them. Because again, it's money for them. You still got to pay Chase next year. So again, if you do the trade where you trade and get Williams, or you trade into Atlanta and get some draft capital, all right, you're good to go. Especially if Higgins is having an okay year or a decent year too. Even if he's having a great year, that means his capital's high. Do it then. Especially if things are looking a little rough. Gone. See you later. But yeah, next offseason is going to be crazy too. Because again, Dak is not going to be a Cowboy. Someone's going to pay that dude $60 million. I bet Carolina, if Bryce doesn't step up, Carolina's going to pay Dak $60 million. Dak could be a Carolina Panther. He'll be throwing a Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen. That'll be nuts. Or I always thought Carolina might go after Higgins. Before, I thought that was going to be a whole nother trade too. They are best friends. What's funny is I love how they dog each other all the time through college stuff. You know, Stroud said, yeah, you guys never beat Ohio State. He goes, yeah, and when did you guys beat Michigan? Yeah, that podcast is great to watch. That is great to watch, them two guys. That's like the JJ and LeBron podcast. I love that podcast. I know people hate LeBron, but you know, I've never had no problem with LeBron. I actually enjoy LeBron. I was a freshman with him at St. V's until I left St. V's and moved. Dude, look, that's a great podcast. The Panthers they are. And that's what Dak's going to go over there and be part of that, because that's the team that's going to pay him $60 million. Unless the Giants trade off and want to pay him $60 million. And I don't see, I guess Jerry Jones won't have no say. But I don't know. The ownership is horrible for the Panthers. Absolutely horrible. He's a racist piece of shit. I mean, they're the reasons why they don't have CJ Stroud. Frank Reich wanted him. They said Bryce Young. Reason why they're in this predicament right now. The next QB for Dallas. And listen, I worked this in and I said, I really think if Jerry Jones wants to play this game, I mean, again, Jimmy Johnson's the advisor now. I think he might try to go get Coach Prime. Have him come be the coach. Draft Shedeur Sanders as whether it's in the first round, second round, wherever they can get Shedeur. Try to bring in Henry at some point too. And then draft Shiloh Sanders in like the third or fourth round. You bring in Coach Prime's both kids and Henry. Woo. Hey, you're right. They do. I was all for him doing that. That's why he said he's not going to. He did not want to sign a new coach because he was still going to have to pay McCarthy that year, and he knew he had Dak another year. Why do you think they didn't give Dak the extension yet or a deal yet? It's because he wants something different. He knows it. And I think Jimmy Johnson's been in his ear about it, saying things got to change. Things have to change. Yes. But I think he's finally woken up like, dude, dementia's starting to set in. Alzheimer's is coming. I'm not going to be around. I got to do something. Oh, dude, that's what I said. Lance to the Vikings in 2025. You talking about Trey Lance? Ooh, they should just. Could be. I'll tell you right now, if the Cowboys are sucking or Dak gets hurt and Trey Lance looks good for the Cowboys, that could be something that happens because I know the Cowboys are going to draft a quarterback regardless. No, I don't want no Trey Lance. I don't want no Trey Lance here. I like DTR. I think he just needs to sit and watch for a little bit, though. I do like DTR. I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think he's a great quarterback. Again, he's just young. I think he needs to put on some muscle and he's got to sit and watch. But I think he can get the job done. I'm all right with that pick right now. Sit behind these guys and just watch. But I think Lance, again, he never got a real shot. Never got a real shot with the Nines. Jared Goff would have been good in Cleveland, especially now. Again, offensive line he has. You have one of the best running backs. You got weapons. Njoku, Judy, Cooper, Tillman. I think Tillman's going to be big this year for the Browns. Cedric Tillman's going to be a big number 3 receiver for them this year. I think he's going to look real good. And from what I've seen in camp, Watson likes Tillman a lot too. So I think he's going to have some big production from Tillman. Again, I just can't wait to see the defense. That defense, they added, they kept. Oof. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be absolutely nasty. But this year, I need this football season to be just like last football season. I want 30 of the 32 teams to be fighting for the playoffs in the last 5 weeks. That's what I want. I don't want to know who's going to be in the playoffs, who's going to win the Super Bowl, or none of that week 8. I don't want that shit. I loved how we were sitting there saying, oh my God, this could happen, that could happen. What's the scenarios for this? How can this work in? My team is still here in it somehow, and they're there. Ooh. They had another playoff team in each conference. You would have that. You have it now. Last year you had 30 teams fighting. It was week 13, week 14. They were still fighting. Percentages were small for some of them, but you still had it. So that means for a good half of them, a good 20 of them, they were real legit contenders still. Because you got to think there's 14 teams get in. So there was still 6 teams on each side, actually. So it was about 26 teams that legit had a chance to get in the wild card at the end. So 12 teams still had a chance to get in their respective wild cards. That is amazing football. That is the type of football I want to see every year in the NFL. Every damn year. That was amazing. To know that you got, dude, this is insane that these teams can do this. That was that good of a season. And again, I think this season could be more of the same. More of the same. The only thing that hinders, again, hey, we'll go back to the AFC North real quick. The Steelers is they have a cupcake first half of the year. They could be like, 7-2 or 8-1 or whatever. Then they have a bye, and then they could lose every game after that. They could lose every single game after that. Because they play the whole division after that. And who knows? You could lose every single game. The way the AFC North plays, you can lose them all. You never know. It is absolutely insane. Their schedule is absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. When I saw that, I was like, man, they did them no favors. They said, Tomlin, you are going to have a losing record at some damn point. And I truly think this could be Tomlin's last year. This definitely could be, what happened? This definitely could be Tomlin's last year. And it could be just because he wants it. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think there's going to be a lot of 12-5. You might get that 13-4. But yeah, I don't think it's no 3 2-loss teams. There's none of that. None of that. It's going to be a lot of 12-5, 11-6. And it's going to be great football. Even the shit teams are going to surprise some teams that shouldn't be surprised. You're going to see some shit, and it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for it. Can't wait for the NFL season. But, hey, we got a couple minutes left. Dallas, Boston, game 2 tomorrow. Boston came out, stomped the mud hole in Dallas's ass. Dallas made a run. Couldn't complete the run back. missed wide open shots, only made 7 threes. Woo! I'm thinking Dallas takes game 2. I like Dallas in game 2. Think they got that shit out their system. It goes 1-1. But yes, football. You got Niners at 7 losses. See, you're a realistic Niners fan, Jesus. Just like Red Jet, which I'm shocked Red Jet ain't around. You're a realistic Niners fan. You guys aren't going to sit here and say all that crazy shit. Like, I think Red Jet's got them at 12-5 or something. But she says there could be 11-6 with a certain loss or something. Like, it could swing 2 losses one way or the other, depending on how shit goes. And when I did the Browns schedule, I did the same thing. I have the Browns at 11-6, but I also think it could swing either way, where they can go 10-7 or they can go 12-5. I do. I care for the Mavs. I want the Mavs to win. I don't want Boston to win. I want the Mavs to win. Kyrie get his second. Luka get his first. Get that organization in there. Let them win another one. I'm okay with Boston not winning. I'm all right with that. Well, yeah, you're in Texas, so you got some hate there. But wouldn't you rather have the championship be in your state, though? I'd rather it be in my state. Like, I'm a Browns fan, but I'll tell you right now, since he has a chance to win the Super Bowl, I want Cincinnati to win the damn Super Bowl. I want them to win it because we face them next year, and I want to be able to say we beat the Super Bowl champs twice. That's how I look at it. But I'm also down here. I also live down in Cincinnati, too, and I have for the last so many years. But I'm Cleveland, the land, no matter what, ride and die. But I'd rather see Cincinnati win over any other AFC team. Well, I'm also a Chargers fan. When the Browns left, I became a Chargers fan, but they got no shot. But if Cincy gets in and they can win the Super Bowl, I want Cincy to do it. I'm all for Cincy doing it. But we're going to see. Hey, listen, this has been a great show. Hey, I appreciate Jesus, Thanos, Normal Guy, Bobby, all you viewers out there, everybody chiming in. Dude, I appreciate it, man. Help me riding out solo dolo here. Beer Cave out there. Now, yeah, we did NFC East early. And Alan, I'm sorry, dude. It went Philly, Commanders, Dallas, Giants. That's how I picked. Yeah, I've always lived in Ohio. Always lived. I've lived up in Cleveland my whole life until the last 3 years. Now I'm in Cincinnati. But hey, I appreciate all you guys. Remember, we might have a show tomorrow. I don't know what the kid's doing. The old man and the kid. Tuesday, Sports Madness. Don't forget, 6 to 8. Remember, it's a new day, 6 to 8 on Tuesday, and Off the Rails on Thursday, 8 to 9. And I'm always on with my boy Bobby. Wednesday night, we do the AFC North show, 8 to 9. When I get that link, I'll have to shoot that out to you guys. That way you guys can come listen to that. I wish I could just put my YouTube on there. Maybe we'll have to work that out so you guys can be a part of that too. Talking football the whole time. Yeah. See, and I think it could be whichever way, Alan. I think it's going to be close, one of the ways. But I just feel like Dallas is trying to tank. I don't know. I feel like some stupid shit's happening out there. Some stupid ass shit with Jerry Jones, but I think he wants to change coach to prime. Dak's not being re-signed. They're going to go a whole nother direction, I feel, next year. And it might be the best thing. Might be the best thing for him. I don't know. But hey, all I do know is I appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody that watched. Hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go follow us on Facebook at the Man Cave 1022. You see it scrolling across the bottom. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe, all that. Again, love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy your Saturday night.